Hello everybody, welcome back to the show that is currently about very little time and lots of love, meaning that I don't really have time to record and broadcast anything, so when I have the odd chance I immediately turn on the recorder. We are doing an Inside My Head this time round, which is going to be very exciting like always, and we are facing the Alekhine Defence, which is something that we haven't had in a long while, if at all. And here I need to explain to you that I need to play h3, because otherwise bishop g4 with this pin undermines these two pawns to a degree that is quite annoying. So you actually need to do this here, but that's okay. And c5 here, as far as I'm concerned, is not a good line at all. And the reason for that, just so that we know, knight c6 is the main line, because after c5 I can very simply just opt for a capture followed by queen e2. What it does is that it prevents c4 trapping my bishop. It also allows my rook to come and occupy the only open d file, and equally importantly it covers the e5 pawn, which is basically the most important element of my position, because this pawn actually restricts Black's bishop quite a bit down on that diagonal, and yeah, it gives me a very pleasant space advantage. I was thinking about playing knight c3, but I am getting a bit discouraged by knight d4. Should I play rook d1, queen c7? That's what's gonna come. The alternative was to play c3 to deny knight d4, but I don't want to play many more moves that are not developing, because yeah, I want to make sure that if anywhere, I'm ahead in development rather than behind. So playing c3 here wouldn't have contributed too much to the position overall, other than denying knight d4, whereas rook d1 is a productive way to go about the same issue. Now knight d4 is not really possible because of take pawn takes and then 3c wins. And now I can play knight c3, which is occasionally threatening with both of... Oh, I was meant to play bishop f4 first, I just blundered this pawn. Right, so what I was going to tell you was that I wanted to play here bishop f4, and then the idea would have been to play knight c3, having all these possible. Now, however, comes the occasion when we need to show some resilience and resourcefulness, if that's even a word, because we are a pawn down, but we still have some pull. We still have some pull in the position, because I've got this pin coming in. Although after bishop f4, knight f3, queen f3, pawn e5... perhaps bishop g5 followed by knight e4. Yeah, I can stir the pot there a little bit. Alternatively, I could play knight b5, queen c6, knight... Oh. Okay, so knight b5, I'm expecting knight takes, queen takes. Maybe queen c6. Yeah, let's go and develop. I want to have fun. I want to have fun. That was a horrendous blunder. My hands were moving faster than my head, which is never a good idea. Now I just noticed my second blunder, that after e5 bishop moves pawn c4 is going to win a big fat piece. So this is when you normally give yourself a face palm the size of a horse, but now we can't do that. Alright, prayer time is on. The idea is, if c4 hits, I am going to play... no idea what. I mean, I could play bishop a4, but it's pathetic. The other option could be knight here, letting it go, check, and hope for the best. Bishop takes, and then try to get around and mate them on dark squares. But that's totally unrealistic too. So that leaves me with... bear with me, I'm thinking. Bugger all. Okay. That was interesting. Not. Yeah, c4 is absolutely deadly. The more I look at it, the more depressing it is. Did you have to do that to me, my friend? Like, I've never had the intention to harm you. Oh, we are going to surprise this dude. Okay, watch this. The psycho attack. He didn't see this one coming. That's for sure. Please do not ask what I'm threatening with, because the answer will be absolutely nothing. But at least I'm trying to aim for the same knight check scenarios where the knight is not that close to come back and attack the f6 square. So at least it's one square further away. Plus there are some awkward squares where the queen might not want to move to. Queen c6 being one of them, queen c5 is another. So I've got a few cheapies here and there that might do something. And as you can see, his time is ticking away. So basically what I'm trying to do here, and I'm really, really embarrassed that this is what I'm doing for an inside my head, is to create opportunities for my opponent to go wrong. That's all I'm doing here. And if it doesn't go wrong, I'm going to lose miserably. Right, can't see anything better than check, and now the plan is to play queen here, and mate down there. And if h5 comes, then yeah, I will have to resign. But again, at least I've got a very clear-cut plan, and it should make him nervy at least a little bit. Because it really does feel like a game in the bag. Mostly because it is. And still it's quite messy. h6 is met by queen h4. That is positively counterproductive. Although even there, he has got queen b6, so that when I take on here, he can take back with the bishop. So the more lines I look at, the more lines I find to be winning for black. But that doesn't mean necessarily that it's a stressless scenario for black, because when you are sitting on the defending side of business, you tend not to like the looks of moves like this, so you don't look into it any further to figure out that actually queen b6 covers everything perfectly fine. So yeah, and also I'm banking on the little bit of a time factor here. But to be honest, even after queen h4, h5, I have to play g4 to create a threat of a threat of a threat. So what I'm saying is that he has got 70 billion moves to really get back on time. Strangely enough, one of his best may be this set, queen b6, and after queen h4, just h6 simply. Or what else would I do if I was him? The other one is to bring this knight back ASAP. But let's say knight c5, queen h4, h5. I don't think knight takes works, to be honest. I would love to make it work. I don't think I can. Okay, so he's sort of preempting me to go to queen h4. And because if I'm a smart fella, I'm thinking like, okay, so can I benefit from this in any other way other than actually going here? And the answer probably will be a negative. Okay, let's just... yeah, I want to keep him frightened. Psychological warfare at its finest. What are you threatening with, dude? Nothing at all. How do you stand materially? Pff, losing by 75 million points. What do you think is going to happen? He will stuff up and I will win. Oh no. Bit of a show-off move, b4. Queen takes, bishop e7 wins. Pawn takes, and all of a sudden the knight drops. The only problem is that it only forces the queen to potentially a better square. But other than that, it's a cute idea, really. Okay, why don't we go here? The reason for that is because after rook e1, I reckon he would play rook e8. Alright, we're dead lost. Oh, I've said that already. He wants to swing the queen across? Be my guest. Whoa! Oh! Did he just lose the game? No! No! He can't be such a fluker that he gets away with this. So the idea of queen d2 is that after takes, pawn takes, queen h5, queen h6 covers back. Oh, this is gonna be such a stylish win by me. Take. Now I've got two plans, and I think both of them are very powerful. One of them is to drop the bishop back to g5, and then set up the mate threat again. The other one is pawn f4, which may be even more powerful. I don't actually know now. I'm confuzzled, because if I play f4, queen e2 is covering that pawn, which is very annoying. Oh, but then I have rook e1. Okay, that is now our emergency exit. So f4, rook e1, queen e1, queen e1, rook g8, queen back up to h4. And we won. Whoopsie daisies. A whoopsa and a daisa. Alright, let's go. The fighting spirit. The fighting spirit. So queen e2, rook e1, and he can't hold on to h5, he's lost. King g6 loses to mate, and rook g8 is always mating one here. That was very embarrassing. The whole entire game was an absolute, disgrace for me. But again, if I want to turn it into a chess lesson, and I was talking about it already during the game, all I was doing was trying to create threats of any kind, some sort. Most of them are absolute lemons. Like, literally, I explained to you how badly they were, and I haven't even set them up, so he had that many moves. But once again, when you are sitting there facing threats, they appear to be more dangerous than what they really are. And actually, a lot of people and a lot of players fall short in that department. I had a student beforehand. Actually, one of my most successful coaching achievement was that student whom I took from 1600 to international master. He was an incredibly gifted attacker. Like, the kid could just stir up an attack from any position possible. At the same time, when he was on defense, he would be scared out of his wits from the most ridiculously non-existent threats, because because he was a natural attacker, he loved attacking, and he was always scared that when he was under attack, because he overestimated the value of every single attack you can think of. And so the moral of the story is that you need to be a good chess player rather than a good attacker or a good defender to understand how to play certain aspects of the game really well. Okay, do we go knight c6 or knight d7? I'll go knight d7 this time. So we are going to play e5 next. That made no sense whatsoever. That's a horrid move. The typical example of, by the way, of chess priority is not set, because develop minor pieces castle. That's what you do first, and then you deal with the heavies. This queen does absolutely nothing on b3, and worse, after the inevitable swap of these pawns, my knight will jump onto c5 with a big fat tempo. This is how it's done. Ta-da! And ta-da! And I always want to go to c5, so yeah, that's a colossal fail. And he should have gone back to c2, by the way, so he essentially wasted 2 moves now. So I'm 2 moves ahead compared to a normal main line. The point of c6, by the way, was to negate both of these squares from the white knights respectively. And also it helps me to get my queen out. Both of these squares are very useful for the queen. It makes the d6 pawn a little bit weak, but the reality is that this... Whoa, that is going to happen now, boys. Brace yourselves, I'll explain it in a second. The reality to the situation is that they can't build up a sensible attack on this. Now, the other day I had a student, I had a lesson with a student where we discussed that very often in chess you find that an exchange sacrifice is one of the smallest possible investment in the lost end of the business for achieving something long-lasting, enduring, and really something that you would easily give material up for. In our case now, this is going to be this rook sacrifice down on e3, which basically means that I've got 2 constant weaknesses to target, which are very, very difficult to hang on to in the long time. But more importantly, it just leaves the white position in a situation where everything just seems hopeless. Like, he doesn't have a plan, he doesn't have a target. All of his pieces have achieved their maximum potential, and my pieces are just coming out one by one, causing more and more annoying threats and pressure and stuff, you name it. Okay, what I wanted to do here was bishop d7, and after rook here, bring the rook here, leaving the knight on because bishop e3 wins the queen. But after knight c2, my knight is a little bit awkwardly hanging here. Okay, so what we are going to do is we drop back here, and now we are going to play knight here. And that actually is going to win back the exchange immediately. Because if the knight moves, I will move this knight anywhere. Like, I will take on c4, regardless of whether it's guarded or not. That was actually a good move. And then I would have taken on e3 with the bishop winning the queen. This time, however, I'm hitting the rook and hitting the c4 pawn. So again, the position collapses. And once again, I would like to go back to this, because to me, this is like, as soon as it popped on the e3, I knew I was going to take it. Club level wouldn't even look at it. So the reason why it is so powerful is because the dark squared bishop is actually responsible for holding the whole position together. And now my dark squared bishop is totally unopposed. So I can attack this, I can attack this, I can attack that. And white is just absolutely helpless when it comes to finding a constructive plan. So now he decided to sack the exchange back. But the problem with that is that now the other qualities of the position have changed into my favor ridiculously heavily, because now I have got the 2 bishops. He has got this pawn structure that is a comedy in itself, and he still doesn't have a productive plan to attack me at all. But having said that, and this is a good lesson too for defending side, by far his best move was to actually let me take that and defend c4. Allowing me to take that would have been 10 times worse. Okay, so I did take it, he took back, and now I'm looking at ways to continue building up my position. Queen e5 looks natural, but maybe I shouldn't encourage f4. Yep, that's correct. I should not encourage f4. I could play bishop f5, actually. I just realized that this is very powerful because I'm kicking the knight on c2. e4 is not possible because of the pin. And I'm just threatening to take and take. Let's go, boys. Bishop power. This is why we love the two bishops. Rook e1 is what I'm expecting, against which I can potentially still win the pawn. I'm not sure, so I will have to calculate that. I have knight d3 jump in. I have got rook e1 building on rook e8, sorry, building on the threat, which I think is going to be my choice of action. f4. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I should actually pinch the material now. Check takes king h2, queen g5, f4. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. That's not good enough. So bishop takes c2, queen takes c2, bishop e3, king h2, rook e8, knight d1. This is a bit frustrating. Yep. All right. Can't go for the material. We're going to continue building the position up. f4 is going to come. Against which I will probes. We'll have to drop back to g7. Yep, that's it. And now he can't get e4 in because e4 loses to bishop takes e3 followed by bishop e4, and I can just block cement it in with d5 or f5. The other good thing for me is that I thought knight d4 wasn't possible, but I think he could have actually gone there. That looks horrid. Like, don't do moves like that. Who is your coach? Okay, I don't understand why he would play this move in the first place, because c3 wasn't hanging, and the golden rule of thumb is that you never go back, always forwards. That's why I was looking at knight d4. So see, this is the difference between this and higher level and this and lower level, that to my mind the only sensible move here was knight d4 coming forward. He played knight d1 in like a split second. It's a really bad move, by the way, like really, really poor. And I'm thinking about playing knight e4 because it forces his bishop off. And after queen takes, he's going to hang here and he's going to hang here, so that's game over. Yep, that was it. That's all she wrote. So he has to take because otherwise this would have been under attack. And now, as a result of the bishop being away from g2, this is a threat as well as this is a threat. The two can't be parried at the same time. Game over. So I hope, guys, that these two games will do the trick as far as providing video content for the time being. Not a lot I can do these days, so yeah, we'll have to do with what little I can put up onto YouTube. But once again, as I keep on saying it, in 3-4 weeks time, yeah, YouTube will kick in hardcore. Chess coaching is going to take extreme measures, and I'm going to stream as well. And I still haven't heard from you lot about what you wanted me to do for... Whoa, isn't that night trap now? what you wanted me to do for my 1000 or however many we are already up to, I don't even remember, subscribers business. Okay, the reason why a5 doesn't win on the spot, of course, is because then he kicks my queen up with knight f2, which is quite a good defending move because it attacks, attacks here, defends h3. Oh, wait a second, but then queen f3 wins on the spot for me because g3 is falling. Maybe g4, queen check. Yeah, this is... Oh, I can just take on b4 and then bishop c3. That's pretty. That is very pretty. Good on me for seeing that. Okay, well done, Buns. Okay, bishop takes h3 is easily winning, especially because the knight f2 is denied by queen g2 check. So part of me actually really wants to play this. That would be the longer torture, but I wanted to prove that tactical means are ready in the position too. So I'm going to play a5. He's going to play knight f2, or he's going to resign if he doesn't see that, because otherwise the knight is trapped. So now I'm going back in here, and now the knight is on and the pawn is on. Now there is two options again. He's either going to resign or he's going to see g4, which still keeps him afloat, because if I take his, he takes mine. But that's when the last nail comes in the coffin. Takes, and because of my pawn is on b4, it allows me to play bishop c3, securing the queen and the rook, and queen e2 doesn't work because I have check. I didn't reckon with that one because that meant giving up the king. And normally I tend not to calculate lines where I'm thinking that the king's position has been compromised to a degree where it's irreparable. Which is what it is. So that's it, boys. I hope you enjoyed it. I highly recommend you to rewind this whole business all the way to the rook, the exchange sacrifice, because I think that was a very instructive element of this game. Okay, I just need to play a few moves here so that time trouble is not going to affect me. Okay, so what I'm trying to do now is I just simply want to exploit the pin on the e-file by playing at one point d4. It was probably an inaccurate move, but I need to play now a few moves a little bit faster so that yeah, time is not going to be a concern, because I'm playing with no increment, so I have to be a little bit mindful of what's happening time-wise. Not a lot, because the position is just super winning. But yeah, like now I'm threatening to play d4, and if he pushes through, then queen check, winning the pawn. That's basically the stuff that I'm looking at. I couldn't think of a... Whoa. Of a good enough rook lift. This looks very dodgy. What have I got here, guys? Okay, I'm too lazy. Go away. I'm too lazy. If the knight comes in, I will play d4, e4, queen f3 check. Once again, winning the whole house. If the knight goes back, surprise, surprise, I will play d4. But this felt to me like this left the rook unguarded on e1, so I'm pretty sure I must have had some tactics there that would have won faster. But couldn't be bothered figuring it out. Yep. Alright, let's just go. d4. Actually, I didn't even consider the possibility that he could have taken that. So the point of this check is now that queen g2 is not possible because this is under attack. And now I can just simply pinch this guy too. He's going to play queen here. Because Patze sees a check, he will go for it, and probably after h5 he's going to realize that it's a lost cause. Or not. So now I'm just quickly improving the position, making my king safer. I could have played check already, but whatevs, doesn't matter. I'm going to play check next fold by pushing the pawn up, which is going to create more mating threats or allowing me to build mating nets around the king. So he's now promoting the idea of swapping a queen, which I'm going to find irresistible, I think. Now, you know what? I'm going to let him suffer. I realized that it's not a good enough move in general, because positionally speaking, in this position I have got an amazingly dominant queen and a useless, terrible bishop. It's blocked in by my own pawn. So that thinking made me realize that I just needed to regroup. Come to d6 and hunt this. Just as easy. Find targets, hunt them down, and shake your fist. Like good old Leighton. Come on! Is he gonna play here? Hoping for this fork? Is it really what his agenda is now? That would be really pathetic. Mind you, I can't blame him for trying that. I was too lazy to think. I'm just going for it now. King here is met by bishop takes, and he can't take because the pawn walks in. That was my cute trick. That's why I went for the queen trade. He's gonna give a check, king up. He's gonna move the knight here, and I'm going to then defend the bishop by pawn up. Or he might take me here. h4, knight back. No! He played the best possible move and he quit. So that was it, guys. I think I explained rather well what was going on here, as well as in the previous one. I would highly recommend you to Philip was watching this, to analyze this. If it wasn't quite clear to you why this was easily the only sensible move I could make in the position, not the only sensible one, but clearly the most strategic, I highly recommend you to analyze it and in fact try to play it. And you will find it that as soon as you find yourself on the black side of this position, sorry, the white side of it, you will find that it's ridiculously hard to just play defending moves all the time and try to survive the oncoming storm. So yeah, enjoy it. Try to take away whatever it was in that game for you. Whereas the first one was yes. I'm not proud of that one, but I believe there is a value in everything, some little value that I upload here onto the inside my head. Good luck with pointing out to me in the chat what the value was in the first game. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. I will be back with more later.